Hey, everybody. This is the episode that is 1000% for you. If you are ready to get weight loss handled, if you are really ready to get to the other side of this in a sustainable, meaningful way, then I've got something really, really special for you today. So maybe you've tried maybe dieting once or twice, or maybe you've been dieting since you were a teenager, like me. Maybe it worked for a while. Maybe some were more successful than the others, but you know it didn't work because you gained the weight back, right? So dieting never really actually works because if it worked, it would have worked already. And it's real painful and frustrating to always go back on these loops of diets and dieting and diet cycles. But you don't have to do that anymore. If you are really ready to get weight loss handled, then like I've got you. Now, maybe you've never dieted, maybe, or you gave up dieting. Maybe you like threw your middle fingers up already at dieting and you're like, forget this. But there's still that sense that food is in control. You're not at your ideal weight. It doesn't feel good. And but you could feel better if your health was a little better, if you were at your ideal size, right? You just don't know how to do it because the only thing we've ever been handled like our diets, right? So I want to say something about that the diet industry, the weight loss diet industry, it is a multi-billion dollar industry. They have so much money that they can throw at marketing to hit right at your insecurities that leads you to just get triggered and land right on the next diet that's going to keep you in this loop. Really want to urge you to get out of it. That's why I have this like really exciting announcement to give you. But let me also just address because some of you might be like, look, Audra, I'm not dieting. I'm just following a healthy way of eating. Maybe I'm even exercising. Doesn't feel like a diet. I'm just trying to do better. But I'm really discouraged because the weight's not budging. Because what I'm really desiring is to not just be on a weight loss journey, but to actually get to my ideal size. This is for you as well. Because if you like, again, the prerequisite here is, are you actually ready to get weight loss handled? That's what I want to know. Because some of us are in this kind of place, we're not so sure. Now, the other thing that you might notice is you maybe notice that, gosh, I feel so maybe out of control around food. I notice that I overeat or compulsively eat or have more cravings. I notice when it happens when I'm stressed out, I'm eating, or when I'm anxious that I'm eating, or when I'm bored, I'm eating, right? So there's all these other ways that you kind of notice that something isn't quite right. And then the food comes in. I've got you. I've got all of you. Okay. So just really hear me when I just know how painful it is to hear people go, well, why don't you just eat less? That's your problem. Just stop eating so much. Or why don't you just get to the gym? You just need to exercise. What's your problem, right? It's not helpful. It's not the answer. It's not your fault. Even though the frustration is real, it is big. I know I've been there. The times, just like years spent, what's wrong with me? I feel like I'm doing everything right. Why can't I figure this out? For real, I've got you. None of this is your fault. Okay. I'm guessing that your goal is not just to lose weight. At least I'm hoping that your goal is not just to lose weight. I'm guessing that what you're really after is a sustainable way to come into your ideal size. Because when you come into what feels like your ideal size in a sustainable way, and then you actually stay there, that is the ultimate goal, right? We're not sitting here trying to like force ourselves and starve ourselves just to gain the weight back. Let's let go of that insanity. Let's let go of that painful cycle. Okay. It doesn't have to be that way. So if you have started and stopped, if you have tried and failed a million diets or workouts or programs or whatever, you are in the right place. So I am just super excited to announce my brand spanking new Food and Body Freedom Challenge. Okay. We are going to spend a week together and uh, I'm going to bring the heat. I'm going to bring the excitement and I'm going to bring the actual science of why we can't seem to get off of this up and down yo-yo cycle and roller coaster and how to really truly finally get to the bottom of a sustainable weight loss journey in a way that you also can stay at your ideal size for the next year, 5 year, 10 years, decades, right? That's what we're looking for here. So right at the beginning of the Food and Body Freedom Challenge, right away, we're going to start working on changing your relationship with food to what I like to call normal eating. Okay. I'm going to show you a very normal way to be in relationship with your body and with food. And we're going to start that off by paying attention to your hunger and paying attention to enough. These are certain cues that are going on in your body, and you are going to start feeling more in control and more ease. You are going to start feeling lighter. When I say lighter, I don't just mean physically lighter, I mean mentally and emotionally and physically lighter. Okay. This is right relationship with habits, right relationship with food. And it's going to feel so good to take action in this place starting on day one. But we don't stop there. We keep going. All right. So after day one, we are going to dive into the deeper reasons why you are struggling with your body and your weight and your relationship with food. Okay. There are reasons that people aren't talking to you about, and that's what we're going to dive into. So, we are going to look at all the reasons. This is the first thing we're going to do. We're going to look at all the reasons. Well, not the first thing. The first thing we're doing is you're learning this new relationship with food. The second thing we're doing is diving deep into the reasons why you're struggling with your body. And with that paradigm, which is where we're going to spend the rest of our time really untangling this during the Food and Body Freedom Challenge. The first part of that is looking at the reasons why you're eating outside of physical hunger. And not that there's necessarily anything wrong with eating outside of physical hunger, but it's going to give us a lot of clues as to what's going on, right? It might be that just simply you notice that when you're stressed out, you start to eat, right? You're stressed out. And of course, you're going to eat because now it's after a long ass day. You've been taking care of everybody else but yourself. Okay. It could be comfort eating. Maybe you learned that self care, right? The way to feel comforted is to eat. And this is how to take care of yourself, right? And these are pretty deep things. Like we've got to be able to untangle these, but sometimes they're not so deep. That's the other thing. Like it might just be you're eating because you're bored. It might just be because, well, I walked by the break room and damn, that looks good. Sure, I'm going to eat that. Ooh, that tastes good. I'm just going to have another, right? Not so deep, right? I'm going to walk you through how eating got all tangled up with feeling your feels, like feeling stress, feeling anxiety, and also the way that it got tangled with not feeling what you're feeling. How can I maybe not feel what I feel and then I can use food in order to fix that? Like, I don't want to feel bored. I'm going to eat. Now I'm not bored. Boom. Right. And I'm going to teach you how to start untangling all of this in an easy way that isn't scary, that isn't stressful, that is in alignment with just the natural order of how your body wants to be in relationship with food and how it wants to feel. Then we are going to go even deeper. We are going to dive into the ways that you consciously and unconsciously sabotage yourself, whether it's food sabotage, body sabotage. We are going to go in and understand this whole idea of like, I know what to do, but I just can't figure out why I can't do it. I know what to do, but I don't do it. We are going to go in, and there's a lot of unconscious parts of this. Okay. I'm going to show you how all of this is connected. The feeling part, the eating for all the reasons outside of physical hunger, the self sabotage part, all of this is connected to a dysregulated nervous system. And I'm going to teach you how to work with it. Okay. Here's my bet. My bet is you actually know what to eat. My bet is you probably know what healthy habits are, right? Those aren't actually your problems, right? The problem is, like I said before, I know what to do, but I just don't do it. And that right there is how you know your dysregulated nervous system is in charge and taking over. Okay. This is the part where I think like all the well-meaning nutritionists, well-meaning personal trainers, well-meaning health coaches out there, it's what they are missing, right? You cannot think your way out of a dysregulated nervous system. You cannot think your way, right? The thinking smart part of your brain goes, ooh, I can eat this and I can exercise like this and this healthy food. That's great. But when your nervous system is dysregulated, you're not going to be able to have access to that thinking part of your brain. You cannot think your way out of a dysregulated nervous system. Okay. Now, this part of your brain, this like logical, conscious part of your brain that knows what to do, right? And I'm going to knock out all those healthy habits. You don't get to access that smart part of your brain when you are chronically in a nervous system dysregulation. Okay. Working with the nervous system is to work at the body level, not the thinking level. All right. So when you are living in survival mode, I can't tell you how many times I will talk to clients and it'll just be like, oh, just in survival mode. I'm just in survival mode, or I'm stressed out. There's just always the stress, right? Or you're taking care of everybody else, right? You're putting on that proverbial oxygen mask. You're putting on everybody else but yourself, right? These are signs that you are living day to day in a state of dysregulated nervous system. Okay. And it turns out that for so many of us, myself included, it's directly connected to increased urges and cravings. It's connected to emotional eating, the stress eating, using food to feel safe and comforted. And here's the part that's hard because I will notoriously have somebody go, well, that's not me. I don't do that. Here's the kicker. This very often happens without you even knowing. It is outside of your conscious mind. Okay. So, my path to food and body freedom, my 5-day challenge, we are going to go deep. We are literally going into these much deeper reasons why. And how do I know? How do I know is if you have lost weight and gained it back, if you have been trying to get to an ideal size and you just haven't been able to do it. The only way you were able to do it is when you forced yourself on a diet and then poof, when the diet was over, you went right back. Okay. For sure, if you find yourself sabotaging all the time, it is a telltale sign that we must be willing to look deeper and to go deeper. Okay. So, inside of my path to food and body freedom 5-day challenge, I'm going to teach you how to get out of your own way so you can finally get on that sustainable weight loss journey and really, truly get to what is your ideal size and stay there. I'm going to teach you how neuroscience and somatics are crucial for nervous system regulation and reprogramming deeply ingrained overeating pathways. I'm going to show you like how it works, and we're going to actually go into practices. And I'm going to show you how to end food sabotage, overeating, and emotional eating in a way that actually works with your nervous system and not against it. Just like tune into that. What would it be like if feeling in control around food, where there's a sense of peace and control, it's just normal? It's not special. It's just your norm. What if that trigger food, the chocolate or the candy or the ice cream or the crisps or the chips or whatever it might be, the popcorn, what if you forgot about it in the pantry for months? What if you just didn't even think about it? What if you learned how to have a cookie and not eat the entire freaking box? What if that was just as natural to you as breathing and sitting here right now? Okay. What I'm teaching in the Food and Body Freedom Challenge is not fluff. I'm not handing you bullshit food rules. I'm not handing you a diet. I'm teaching you what it really takes to come into a place where you are feeling physically and emotionally and mentally lighter. And you will start to experience that immediately inside of these 5 days. I cannot wait to have you there. All you have to do is go to hellobodyfreedom.com/challenge. That's hellobodyfreedom.com/challenge. I cannot wait to see you there. It is going to be epic and life changing.